it was, so anyways, they veer off Michigan. They're on a side road now that's parallel to Michigan. And they hit an IED on the 7-ton. And the initial IED that blew up in the 7-ton, we just knew one hit, and we knew that the word I got was they might have some back issues. Not a huge casualty, but some back issues. So we spun up my other section. I went out on that mission. And literally we pull up, I set up the cordon around the IED, I get out of the truck, I'm still holding on the radio, and I'm looking, and you know, I see the other Marines from the first section veer into the first truck, and of course the secondary goes off. And I immediately know this is fucked up. I mean, this is a bad situation. So call up the, you know, just squeeze up and say, hey, mass casualty, launch whiskey, this is where we are, blah, blah, blah. You know, go through all the steps, release it, and I go in, and I had comm on my body.
During it, at that time, Captain Quinn was in the
COC.
Yeah, COC.
So I'm talking to him indirectly, like I'm radioing back to the trucks and they're talking to him, and the other section leader is still in the truck. And I'm on the deck now, and the 7-ton's burning, there's bodies lying all around, and so the Marines and myself, we start dragging bodies out, and we set up CCPs. You know, and there's legs missing, it's just not a good sight. And you know, we had to run into a fire to get these guys out of there, so it was a bad situation. You know, run around the corner with my doc to the other CCP, a third explosion happens, maybe fuel tank, maybe third IED. We get blown back, you know, I'm fucking out of it, probably knocked out for like half a second, get up, and now we're doing link-up procedures with whiskey. You know, I'm condensing this timeline a little bit, but where we get the guys out of there.
Whiskey?
Weapons platoon, weapons company. So I'm the last body out of there, I'm the last truck. And the end result is the Marine dies, you know, many Marines lose their leg. One was badly burned. It was just a bad situation. It was a horrible night. You know, there's so many things I remember from that night, especially, you know, in the hospital and going into Charlie Med, which is the medical facility. You know, I got Marines crying on my shoulder and saying, what the fuck are we doing? You know, what is going on? And, you know, at that point, you go back into lieutenant mode, and, you know, they're all looking at you. So,
What do you mean by going back into lieutenant mode?
Well, you know, like, as a human, you want to feel shitty. Now, while the event's happening, you're on. I mean, you just do what you do. But now at Charlie Med, I'm inside the surgical ward. You know, I'm seeing people with their legs getting cut off. I saw my burnt Marine. You know, that shit's not fun to see. But you go outside and you look at the rest of the Marines, and it's almost worse not to see it because they have no idea what's going on. And so now, you know, now I'm the authority figure, and I can't be moping. I can't. Now it's just a normal brief about what's happened, what's going on, and what we're going to do about it. And
I mean, what did this lead to on December 31st with the viewing the IEDs?
Right. So, you know, because of these events, like I said, the Marines are a little shaken up. So I'm doing my part to put them at ease, and so that means playing with IEDs, which is a horrible idea. Don't recommend it. So on December 31st, Walt Laracy's platoon is launching the raid. We got the cordon and outside security, and someone calls out IED, and so, you know, I go out, and this one I didn't think was IED, but, you know, I'm playing around with it, and as soon as I grab a wire, a grenade goes off and I mean, literally, as I touch it, a grenade goes off. So I almost shat my pants. I mean, half a second I go, I'm dead, and then, all right, I'm alive. I put 2 and 2 together, you know, do the nut check and say, okay, I'm okay. So literally 5 minutes later, they call out another ID. Now this one, so I go out, I I'm with another Marine. We're behind cover, and I take a look at it. I go, okay, this is pushing it. This is probably an IED. And against my better judgment, again, I went out there, and this is the cheesiest line, and I actually said it, but I turned to my Marine and I said, hey, tell my mom I love her. Because I thought I was going to die. I thought for sure I was going to get fucking blown up. And sure enough, I grab the thing, I toss it, and the cords break out. Well, like, as I'm doing it, the cords start sparking, and that was a real idea. So, half a second later, I'd be dead. What a stupid idea. But so, you know, I continue to do this for the rest of the tour until I feel the boys are back to where they need to be, and then I quickly stop doing it. But you know, you do. At that point, literally at that point, I just didn't care. I thought I was gonna die. I certainly didn't want to die, but I had totally come to grips with it, and you know, I just got to a point where I was okay with it. I mean, I remember having these discussions with Luke, and I remember having, you know, internal thoughts like, you know, I think I've had a pretty good life. If it happens, it happens, and you know, I'm prepared for this. Not only was I prepared for it, but I did think it was going to happen. But the one thing I said is I won't let it happen to my Marines. So I'll do whatever possible to make sure another Marine. But I'm still going to complete the mission. I won't stop missions. I won't do anything that the mission comes first. But if anyone's going to be in danger, it's going to be me.
I'd like to move forward to, and we had spoken before about your development of some of the A-team techniques within Lima Company. And I'll go back and splice this together in the right part of the timeline. This was in the middle of 06 towards the end of 06. But the one thing I wanted to follow up on there is, what was Captain Mines' role in that?
Well, if we're talking about 06, Captain Mines wasn't there. Okay. This was another company commander. Frankly, I wasn't really briefing this to anyone else. I was talking about a little, you know, Luke and I were obviously bouncing. Luke and I talked about everything. But Luke was dealing with EXO stuff, and Luke and I had a pretty good understanding of what our roles were. And mine was, you know, concentrate on ops, and thankfully he took care of supporting all that. And you know, obviously he's a brilliant tactician as well, so we're gonna bounce shit off each other. But he freed me up enough to where I was concentrating on this. So Captain Mines wasn't there yet, but we did get our brand new second lieutenants. So at this point, we got them in the beginning, right at the beginning of January. So I'm pounding them, you know, because I don't want them to be like me.
January of 07.
Yeah, and I'm pounding them, saying, hey, don't do what I did. Like, this is what you're gonna experience. Like, I need you to show restraint. Like, any asshole can shoot a building. Like, you're there to actually solve the problem.
And in January of 07, you were anticipating going back to Ramadi 2 in what time frame?
We weren't anticipating going back to Ramadi. We were anticipating going back to Iraq, and we thought we were going in July. And then President Bush's speech came, State of the Union speech, and he said, we were in the field, and he said, you know, 4,000 Marines to Anbar, and, you know, literally right after the speech, word started coming down, you're leaving 2 weeks from now. And we were like, what? And we thought we were leaving 2 weeks. And then the colonel came and said, he said, I don't know when we're leaving, but we have been pushed up. So then 2 weeks after that, or however soon, he said, we're going back to Ramadi, we're going in April. And that was definitely a mixed emotion.